I never thought I'd stand at the altar alone, but there I was, in that stuffy little chapel in downtown Seattle. The organ wheezing out, "Here comes the bride," like a dying accordion while my parents texted from their cruise ship in the Bahamas. Sorry.
Sweetie.
Family tradition. Alara's the golden one. Her wedding gets the spotlight. Betrayal tastes like cheap champagne gone flat. And mine came spiked with the realization that I'd spent my life as the spare tire. The afterthought. The one who took the fall for Alara's screw-ups since we were kids. Her shoplifting bust that I confessed to at 14. Her DUI that I covered with my own clean record at 20. But when I woke up that morning after the wedding, staring at a reflection that wasn't mine, Alara's perfect, Botox smooth face smirking back from the mirror, I knew the real revenge wasn't just flipping the script, it was rewriting the goddamn book. My name is Arya Hale. And if you told me a week ago that I'd be plotting the downfall of my own flesh and blood from inside her skin, I'd have laughed it off as one of those late-night Reddit rabbit holes about quantum glitches or experimental DARPA tech gone wrong. But here I am. Her fingers, long and manicured with that obnoxious French tip polish, tapping against the steering wheel of her sleek Audi A8 as I cruise down I-5 toward the family estate in Bellevue. The radio's blasting some Taylor Swift breakup anthem. Ironic as hell. Because Alara's life is the one I always envied. The corner office at Dad's tech firm. The trust fund that could buy small countries. The husband who's more arm candy than soulmate.
Me?
I was the indie bookstore owner in Capitol Hill. Scraping by on latte art and poetry slams. Marrying Jake in a courthouse ceremony, because who needs pomp when you've got love? Except, apparently,
my parents did.
They skipped it, called it disrespectful to Alara's timeline. Golden child syndrome. They said unspoken. But we all knew the script. It started unraveling the night before the wedding. Jake and I were holed up in our tiny Queen Anne apartment, the kind with creaky hardwood and a view of the Space Needle that flickered like a faulty promise. We just finished packing for our honeymoon road trip down the Oregon coast, canned it for a staycation when the deposit money vanished into Alara's latest investment opportunity, which was code for funding her coke habit disguised as networking events. I didn't mind. Jake said it made us scrappy.
Real.
We were tangled in sheets that smelled like thrift store lavender. His hand tracing the scar on my ribs from that accident in high school, Alara's horse riding mishap that she swore was mine to claim. Lest Dad cut off her allowance. "You're too good for them," he murmured. And I believed him because in his arms, I was. Sleep came easy, dreamless, until the jolt, like falling off a cliff but landing in silk. My eyes snapped open. But the ceiling wasn't the water-stained popcorn of our bedroom. It was vaulted mahogany. Recessed lights humming softly. And the sheets? Egyptian cotton. The kind that whispers money. I bolted upright, heart hammering. And that's when the mirror across the room betrayed me. Alara's face. Her honey blonde waves. Her sharp cheekbones that screamed, "Trust fund." Her eyes, my eyes, wide with the same panic I felt churning in my gut. I screamed, a sound that echoed off walls lined with abstract art that cost more than my yearly rent. No one came. Of course not. This was her penthouse condo in South Lake Union. The one Dad bought her after her breakup with that venture capitalist who turned out to be married. I stumbled to the bathroom, splashing water, cold, imported Voss, on this foreign skin, praying it was a nightmare. A prank. Some VR headset Jake rigged up for laughs. But the tattoo on her wrist, a delicate infinity symbol I'd mocked her for getting in Ibiza, mocked her for hiding the needle tracks beneath. It was real. I was real. Inside her.
How? Why?
Her phone, buzzed on the marble counter. A text from Mom. Darling, brunch at the club tomorrow? Wear the Chanel. As if I hadn't just married the man of my dreams 12 hours ago. As if my world hadn't imploded. Panic clawed at me. But so did something sharper, opportunity. All those years of being the fixer, the scapegoat, the time Alara borrowed Dad's prototype software and crashed the servers. Blaming my clumsy internship fingers, the forged recommendation letters for college that I signed off on, tanking my own apps so she could shine. I'd carried her sins like a backpack full of bricks. And for what? A pat on the head and, "You're the strong one." Arya. Strong enough to swap lives?
No.
This was no accident. I rifled through her drawers, finding the hidden compartment in her jewelry box, a sleek black vial labeled NeuroSync prototype, confidential. Dad's company. Hale Dynamics. Dabbled in neural interfaces for enhanced cognition, but whispers in board meetings I'd eavesdropped on hinted at body-swapping trials for espionage clients. Black budget stuff. The kind that makes congressmen sweat. Alara had access. She'd bragged once, half drunk at a family dinner, about beta testing with some shady neuroscientist boyfriend. Had she done this? Swapped us to steal my life, my simple, untainted one, while she played victim in mine. The thought ignited something feral. I dressed in her yoga gear, Lululemon that hugged curves I'd never had, and slipped out, grabbing her keys. Jake would be waking up too.
Me? No. To her and my body.
God. The chaos. But first, I needed answers. And revenge doesn't wait for brunch. The drive to the estate was a blur of evergreens whipping past, the kind of Pacific Northwest gloom that mirrors your mood, steel gray skies threatening rain, wipers on intermittent like hesitant apologies. Bellevue's gated communities loomed like fortresses, all manicured lawns and Tesla-charged driveways. The Hale estate was the crown jewel, 7 bedrooms. A wine cellar stocked with Napa cabs Dad pretended to appreciate, and a pool house where Alara hosted girls' weekends that ended in NDAs. I punched in the code, her birthday, naturally, and the wrought iron gates swung open with a groan that sounded like judgment. Mom was in the sunroom, pruning her orchids with the precision of a surgeon, her pearls glinting like accusations. Alara.
Honey?
You're early.
And.
Disheveled. Her Botox smile didn't reach her eyes. The same eyes now staring back from my stolen face. I forced a laugh. Alara's trill. Light and dismissive. Rough night.
Mom.
Wedding jitters or something. She arched a brow, setting down the shears. Arya's wedding? I suppose. Your father insisted we skip it. Tradition? You know. She'll understand. She's always been the resilient one. Resilient. The word landed like a slap. I pour myself coffee from the Keurig, her oat milk creamer, because dairy bloats the glow, and sat, legs crossed like she did, all poise and predation. Speaking of, where is she? I should congratulate her. Mom waved a hand, manicured nails flashing. Probably holed up with that barista husband. Jake.
Was it?
Charming.
But so.
Pedestrian. Pedestrian. That's what they called my happiness. I sipped, burning my her tongue, and probed. Dad's project? The brain thing. You ever worry it's dangerous? She stiffened, just a flicker, then recovered with a tinkling laugh. Alara. Darling, don't be dramatic. It's the future, telecommuting for the soul.
Lies.
I knew the rumors. Test subjects vanishing into psych wards. Ethics boards paid off with stock options. And Alara? She'd been the willing lab rat, chasing enhancements to outshine me, the plain sister. But this was personal. As Mom droned on about the country club gossip, Alara's latest conquest, a senator's son, I felt the vial's weight in my pocket, stolen from her nightstand. If she could play God,
So could I.
by noon, Dad pulled into the driveway in his black Escalade, the engine purring like a contented lion. Victor Hale, silver fox at 60, with a jawline that screamed old money and a Rolodex that bought senators. He clapped me, Alara, on the shoulder, his grip firm, proprietary. Kiddo, heard about the wedding fiasco. Your mother's idea keeps the narrative clean.
Clean.
As if my life was a PR spin. We retreated to his study, walls lined with first editions he never read and a massive oak desk scarred from late-night rages. The neurosync trials, I ventured, casual as her flirtations.
Any.
Anomalies? His eyes narrowed. That calculating glint. Why the interest now? Burned out on the executive track. I leaned in, channeling her coyness. Just curious if it's ready for prime time. Imagine swapping stresses. Me in Arya's shoes for a day. Her and mine. He chuckled, deep and dismissive, pouring scotch from a crystal decanter. Hypotheticals are for philosophers.
El.
But yeah, the swaps hold 90 minutes. Reversible with the counteragent. Military loves it for interrogations. 90 minutes. That explained the lag. I was pushing hour 5. Panic flickered, but I smothered it. And side effects, like permanence. He set the glass down.
Hard.
What is this? Alara? Fishing for dirt. I held his gaze. Her blue eyes unblinking. Just thinking about family. Arya's always carried the load. Your messes. My indiscretions. What if she knew? His face darkened, the room shrinking under the weight of unspoken sins. The DUI cover-up. The embezzlement she'd pinned on my fiddling with accounts during my summer internship. He'd buried it all. For the Hale legacy. She doesn't, he growled. And she won't. You're the future. Alara. Act like it. I left with a hug that felt like a vice. Driving back to the city with his words echoing. The future. She'd stolen mine. Body and soul. To escape her crumbling facade, the debts piling up from her investments, the affair with Dad's COO that threatened to tank the company. In my body, she could vanish. Start over as the overlooked sister, while I rotted in hers, exposed to her scandals. But I wasn't running. Not yet. That night, as Alara in my skin showed up at the apartment, Jake's confusion was a knife twist. He opened the door, takeout tie in hand, his smile fading to bewilderment. Arya, you look different. New haircut. She played it coy. My voice from her lips. Surprise spa day.
Babe.
Missed you. I watched from the shadows across the street, heart splintering. He bought it. For now. But the swap was fraying, flashes of my old body aching. Like phantom limbs. The vial burned in my purse. One dose to reverse.
Or
Escalate. Revenge isn't a light switch. It's a slow burn. By dawn, I'd hacked her email. Password was our childhood dog. Pathetic, and found the logs. She'd initiated the swap at 2 a.m. Post-wedding. using a rented lab in Pioneer Square. Motive? A whistleblower threat from a former colleague who'd uncovered the trial's fatalities. She needed out. Clean. And I was the perfect vessel. Unassuming. Unloved. The betrayal sank deep, roots twisting in family soil. But roots can be poisoned. I started small, anonymous tip to the SEC about Hale Dynamics off-books trials, routed through her IP. Then, a call to Jake from a burner. Her voice, dripping concern. It's Arya. Something's wrong with your wife. Check her phone. Seeds planted. As the rain sheeted down on Seattle's veins, I felt the power shift. Alara had made me the ghost. Now I'd haunt her empire. The first crack in Alara's perfect world came faster than I expected, like thunder rolling in off the sound without warning. It was Tuesday, 48 hours into this nightmare flesh suit, and I was striding into Hale Dynamics glass tower like I owned it, because, hell, in her heels and power suit, I kind of did. The lobby hummed with that corporate buzz, baristas slinging $7 lattes, execs in slim-fit suits barking into AirPods, the faint scent of ambition mixed with ozone from the server farms humming below. Security nodded me through. Morning. MS. Hale, and I rode the express elevator to the 42nd floor, stomach churning with the vertigo of heights and hatred. Her office was a shrine to excess, floor-to-ceiling views of Elliott Bay, a Herman Miller desk piled with mock-ups for NeuroSync 2.0, and a mini fridge stocked with LaCroix flavors she'd never touch. I booted up her MacBook fingerprint scan, seamless, and dove into the encrypted drives. Password? Golden Girl 69, because subtlety was never her strong suit. Folders bloomed, trials_log, cover_ contingencies. The first file hit like gut punch, subject profiles. Anonymized, but not to me. Subject A17, low-profile civilian. Familial tie. Ideal for stress test swap. Risks, psychological bleed.
Me.
I'd been slotted as a guinea pig months ago. After that family dinner where I joked about trading places to understand her pressure. They'd laughed then, now. It was ledger entry. Deeper in emails with Dr. Harlan Voss, the neuroscientist X. Alara, reversal window closing on A17. Administer counteragent by 72 hours or neural fusion sets. Your call. Timestamp. Yesterday. Fusion. The word clawed at my brain, memories bleeding, identities merging like oil and water that won't separate. I glanced at the vial in my clutch. 1 dose left. Reverse now. And I'm me again. Broke and betrayed. Wedding ring a joke.
Or. Stay.
Wreak havoc from the throne. Controversial? Hell yes. Moral? In a family that valued stock prices over daughters, morality was just another variable. I forwarded the juiciest bits, fatal trial reports, Voss's payoffs, to a dummy account, then leaked a teaser to a tech blogger I knew from my bookstore days. The one who'd kill for an insider scoop on Hale. Anonymous exec spills, brain swaps killing volunteers.
Send.
The web rippled. By lunch, her phone was blowing up. Dad's curt meeting.
Now.
Moms, what have you done? Darling. And Jake, a voicemail in my real voice.
Strained.
Arya? Alara says you're
confused. Call me.
Please. I met Dad in the boardroom. A sterile chamber with a view that made you feel invincible until it didn't. He paced. Tie loosened. Face thunderous. The SEC sniffing,
Alara.
And that leak? Your fingerprints all over it. I leaned back in the leather chair, crossing her legs with deliberate slowness. Mine? Or Arya's? She's got grudges. Dad. Always has. His eyes bored in, suspicion flickering. This about the wedding? Petty bullshit. Grow up.
Petty.
The word fueled me. Petty like burying bodies for the bottom line? Or swapping sisters to dodge subpoenas? He froze, scotch glass halfway to his lips. What do you know? I smiled. Her predatory curve. Enough to burn it all. Unless you come clean. The trials, the deaths. Alara's role. Lie woven in truth. I'd force the reversal on my terms. He slammed the glass down, amber sloshing. You think you're clever? Voss was your idea. Remember? To enhance the edge over your sister. My stomach dropped. Edge? Over me? The golden child. Threatened by the spare's quiet competence. It fit Alara's insecurities, masked as superiority, driving her to play Frankenstein. The confrontation hung, electric, until his phone buzzed. Voss. Frantic. Victor. The subject's destabilizing. Fusion at 60%. Get her the agent, now. Dad's gaze snapped to me, dawning horror. Alara? Jesus. What have you done? I stood, smooth as silk. Fixed it. Call off the dogs. Or the full logs drop by midnight. Extortion. Pure and simple. Controversial as hell. Blackmailing your own father from your sister's body. But in America, where justice is for those who can afford it, it's just business. I fled to the underground parking, heels clicking like gunfire, and gunned it toward the apartment. Jake deserved truth. Or as much as I could give without shattering him. He answered the door in sweatpants, eyes red-rimmed, my old cardigan draped over his shoulders like a security blanket. Arya? His voice cracked, and up close, in my body, Alara looked wrecked, dark circles, my freckles stark against pale skin. She know, in my skin, recoiled. Who the hell are you? Shut up, I hissed, shoving past into the living room, where our wedding photo mocked from the mantel, me in thrift store lace. Him beaming. Jake blinked, caught in the crossfire. Alara?
What's going on?
I turned to her, our eyes, mine, locking in mutual dread. You did this. The swap. To run from your mess. She laughed. Brittle. My laugh twisted. Paranoid much? I woke up like this, your pathetic life. The debts. The nobody husband. Fix it. Jake's face drained. Swap? What the fuck? I grabbed her arm. My arm. Hard enough to bruise. Tell him. The trials. The cover-ups. Or I do. Panic flashed in her eyes. The first real crack in the porcelain. You wouldn't. Family. Family. The word was venom. You skipped my wedding. Framed me for your crimes. This ends now. We circled like wary cats. Jake a stunned witness. As rain drummed the windows. She lunged for my purse, the vial. But I was faster. Her lithe body, betraying its athletic edge. We grappled, crashing into the coffee table. Thai takeout spilling like bloodless wounds. Give it, she snarled, nails raking my hurt cheek. Jake pulled us apart, shouting, Stop, both of you. In the chaos, truth spilled. Her affair. The embezzlement she'd pinned on me. The the swap as escape hatch. Jake staggered back, betrayal etching lines on my familiar face. Arya. Is that really you in there? I nodded. Tears, hers, hot and unfamiliar, streaking mascara. I love you.
But this.
It's bigger. She sneered, cornered. Bigger? You're nothing without me. The Hales built you.
No.
I built myself. Brick by buried brick. As sirens wailed distant, SEC raid incoming, I made the call. No reversal. Not yet. Let her stew in my skin. Feel the weight. Controversial? Destroying your sister to save your soul? In the land of second chances bought with blood money. It felt like justice. That night, holed up in a no-tell-motel off Aurora Avenue, neon buzzing vacancy, like a bad omen, I plotted deeper. Voss's number from the emails. I'd summon him. Force the full reversal protocol. But first, leverage. A midnight email to the family lawyer. Resign all Hale shares to Arya Hale. Or exposure. Dawn brought replies. Dad's rage. Mom's pleas. Alara. From my phone, you bitch. You'll regret this. Regret? I'd scripted theirs for years. By week's end, the boardroom showdown loomed. I walked in as Alara, but spoke as Arya, unleashing the logs. Voss's testimony I'd coerced over burner calls. Dad's empire cracked. Stocks plummeted. Headlines screamed, tech tycoon's brain game gone wrong. Alara, in my body, watched from the sidelines. Arrested for fraud. My frame job turned boomerang. Jake? He waited. Uncertain. But his text lit my stolen screen. Come home. Whoever you are. Home. The word tempted. But revenge's fire burned hotter. Yet as fusion tugged, memories of her prom night bleeding into mine, the line blurred.
Was I saving us?
Or becoming her? The twist whispered. What if the swap revealed I'd known more than I let on? Buried secrets of my own? Power's a drug. And in Alara's body, I was mainlining it. High on the rush of deals crumbling. Whispers in hallways turning to outright stares as I passed. Hale Dynamics' 42nd floor felt like a sinking ship, interns scattering like rats. VPs nursing hangovers from emergency scotch sessions. The air thick with a metallic tang of desperation. It was day 6. Fusion at 75% per Voss's panicked voicemail I'd ignored. And my reflection in the polished chrome elevator doors showed a hybrid horror, Alara's poise cracking under my scowl. Her laugh bubbling up unbidden during conference calls. I was Arya in a stolen suit. But the seams were fraying. Memories splicing like bad edits. Her first boardroom when tasting like my bookstore's fresh ink. My high school valedictorian speech echoing with her sorority chants. The climax brewed in Dad's office. A war room now cluttered with legal pads and half-empty Red Bull cans. He summoned me. Alara. My office. 5 minutes. His voice gravel over the intercom. I sauntered in, dropping into the Eames chair like I owned the patents on the walls. Victor. Or should I say, puppet master? He looked haggard. Ty Askew. The man who'd once schmoozed governors now reduced to a cornered CEO. Cut the theatrics. The board circling, resignations piling up. Voss flipped. He's singing to the feds about the swaps.
Good.
I'd greased that wheel with a promise of immunity for the dead subjects' families. I leaned forward, her manicured nails drumming. Sing louder. Tell them how your golden girl greenlit the fatal trials to chase a promotion. How she swapped me to ghost her crimes. His face purpled. veins bulging like fault lines.
Lies.
You were complicit, both of you. That DUI? Your idea to cover her. Keep the family intact. Complicit. The word hooked deep, dragging up the buried rot. Yeah, I'd covered for love. For the myth of us sisters against the world. But when Alara's accidents escalated to felonies, when she laughed off the prototype theft that nearly got me fired, I'd stayed silent. My sin.
2.
He poured bourbon,
Neat.
shoving a glass my way.
Fix this.
Reverse the swap, take the hit as Alara. Executive burnout. I'll bury it.
Tempting.
Back to my skin. My life. With a fat settlement to rebuild. But Jake's face in my mind, confused. Loyal, steeled me.
No.
I want the empire. Shares. Keys to the kingdom. Or the full dossier drops, your offshore accounts. Mom's pill habit funneled through company perks. Extortion squared. Controversial as voting twice in a swing state. His laugh was bitter.
Broken.
You're not her. Arya wouldn't. Arya would, I snapped. Because Arya's the one who survived you. The door burst open then, Mom. Dramatic as a soap opera diva. Pearls clutched like a rosary. Stop this. Alara. Darling. Whatever she's done, your sister's possessed or something. The wedding was a mistake. We see that now.
Possessed.
Close enough. She rushed me, hugging this body like it held her real daughter. Tears soaking the silk blouse. Come home. Let her go back to her little books and that.
Boy.
Jake. Reduced again. I peeled her off. Gentle but firm. Home? You mean the cage where I fix your messes?
No, Mom.
This is liberation. Sirens wailed outside. Feds. Right on cue from my anonymous tip. Dad bolted to the window, cursing as black SUVs swarmed the plaza below. You did this. I stood, smoothing her skirt.
We did.
But I'm the one walking out. Chaos erupted. Alarms blaring. Security scrambling. Mom wailing like a banshee. I slipped into the stairwell. Heels discarded for speed. Emerging into the frenzy of Pioneer Square. Rain slicked the cobblestones. Tourists scattering under umbrellas. As I melted into the crowd, Alara Hale. Fugitive heiress. My burner buzzed. Voss. The counteragent. It's not just reversal. It's keyed to DNA. Administer wrong. And you both fry.
Fry.
Neural overload. Per the logs I'd skimmed. Risky. But in a coffee shop off Post Alley, nursing a black drip that tasted like regret, I waited. Call Alara. Trade the vial for confession? Or double down? Expose the whole rotten core? The barista, tattooed millennial with a nose ring, eyed me. Rough day. Understatement. In my real voice, I'd have bantered. In hers, I just nodded, tipping double. American dream. Even villains need caffeine. Jake found me there. Or I let him, texted coordinates from a payphone. Old school. He slid into the booth, my body looking haunted. Flannel shirt hanging loose. Arya. Not a question. Relief flooded. But so did guilt. In here. Mostly. He reached across. Fingers brushing hers, mine, hesitant. The news. Hale's imploding. Your sister's in custody, impersonating you. Fraud. Impersonating. The irony burned. She is me.
In a way.
But it's over. We talked, raw and ragged, over cooling lattes. His confusion, my fury, the love that bridged the bizarre. I knew something was off, he admitted. The way she touched me. Not like you. Not like us. But as fusion deepened, Alara's memories intruded, her terror of failure, Dad's cold disappointment, speeches that mirrored my own buried scars. Was she the villain? Or just the favored fool? Controversial thought. Maybe we'd both been pawns. Night fell, neon bleeding into puddles. As we drove to the lab, Voss's hideout in an abandoned warehouse by the Duwamish. The doctor waited, twitchy, counteragent syringe glinting under fluorescent buzz. Choose, he said, eyes darting. Reverse now, or risk permanent merge. Alara arrived in cuffs, escorted by feds I'd tipped off, my masterstroke, trading her testimony for leniency. She glared through bars of my face. Give it to me. End this. The moment stretched, tension coiling like a spring. Inject her. Reclaim my skin?
Or
nothing. Let the merge claim us both. Twins in truth. Dad's plea echoed. You're the strong one. But strength isn't silence. I uncapped the vial. Needle poised over her arm, my arm.
Confess.
On record.
She spat.
Fuck you. Feds nodded, tape rolled. I swapped Arya to escape. The trials killed 5 homeless vets. Off books. Dad knew.
Boom.
Empire's end. Syringe plunged. Agony ripped through. Bodies convulsing as neural paths realigned, fire in veins. Memories flashing like strobe, her Ibiza highs. My poetry readings, shared childhood bikes on Bellevue trails. We collapsed. Separate again. Gasping on cold concrete. Me and my skin, freckled and frail. Her and hers, flawless but fractured. Jake pulled me up. Anchor in the storm. Feds hauled her away. Dad's arrest following via chopper feed on their dash cams. But as dawn broke over the industrial sprawl, Voss's whisper chilled. The merge. It's partial. Echoes remain. Indeed. In the mirror later, my eyes held a glint, not mine, not hers. The secret buried deepest? I'd known about the trials. Overheard. Ignored. For the family paycheck that kept the bookstore afloat. My crime.
2.
Twist. The spare wasn't innocent. She was invested. Revenge tasted bittersweet. Empire ashes under Seattle rain. Happy? For Jake and me. Starting over in a new city. Maybe. Tragic? For the Hales. Scattered like confetti. Debatable? Absolutely. Did I destroy? Or liberate? Echoes. That's what Voss called them. The neural ghosts that lingered post-swap. Like radio static from a station you can't quite tune out. A week after the raid, I felt them strongest in quiet moments. Alara's compulsion to check stock tickers mid-conversation. Her flirtatious lilt slipping into my bookstore readings. Jake noticed, his brow furrowing over morning eggs in our revamped apartment, fresh paint. No ghosts. You okay? Spaced out again. I forced a smile. My real one. Crooked and genuine. Just. Processing. Processing the fallout. Hale Dynamics seized. Dad in pretrial lockdown at SeaTac's federal wing. Mom checked into a discreet Aspen rehab for exhaustion. Alara? Bail denied. Facing decades on conspiracy charges. The golden child.
Tarnished.
But power vacuums suck in the unwary, and mine was a black hole. The board, those vulture suits who'd kissed Dad's ring, reached out via shell emails. Arya, your insight's invaluable. Interim CEO. Insights. Code for clean up our mess. Take the bullet. Controversial offer. Step into the viper pit. Wield the empire I'd torched, or walk away. Let it burn to embers. Jake voted burn. We start fresh. Portland maybe. Craft brewery scene's hot, but the echoes whispered ambition. Alara's hunger gnawing like termites. Late nights. I'd scroll SEC filings. Mapping buyouts. Envisioning Arya Hale, the reformer, the phoenix. The decision crystallized at the courthouse. Alara's arraignment a circus of flashbulbs and true crime podcasters. I slipped in back row incognito. Hoodie. No makeup. Watching her in orange jumpsuit. Hair limp. That unbreakable poise cracked. The judge droned bail terms. Her lawyer, a slick Harvard shark, pleaded family pressures. Family. She caught my eye across the gallery. Hatred pure, but laced with
Plea?
Arya, she mouthed. Not sister to sister, victim to victor. I held it, unblinking, until the gavel fell, remanded.
Outside.
Rain-slick steps. A reporter cornered me. MS. Hale, thoughts on your sister's betrayal. Betrayal. The word looped, pulling threads. I'd always known pieces, the swapped blame, the hidden ledgers, but the full tapestry, buried under loyalty's weight. Dad's old driver, loyal to a fault, waited curbside in Lincoln. Miss Arya, your father requests a visit.
Request.
As if he had a choice. SeaTac's visiting room was a fluorescent purgatory, plexiglass dividers. Intercom crackle. Inmates in stiff blues. Dad looked diminished. Salt and pepper stubble framing jowls I'd never noticed. Kiddo. His voice tinny through the speaker. You did this. No hello. Straight to blame. I leaned in, fogging the glass. We did. Your secrets. My silence. He pressed a hand to the barrier. Veins roped like accusations. Help me. Testify, coerced, unstable. I'll give you everything, the company, the estate. Everything. The echo surged, Alara's thrill at closing deals, and I tasted temptation. CEO Arya. Rewriting the code. But Jake's face anchored me.
No.
You made us spares and stars. Live with the fall. His laugh barked.
Hollow.
Strong one.
Huh?
That's why I chose her, Alara, for the trials. You? Too soft. Lie or truth. The twist uncoiled. He'd pitted us, swap or no, to forge the perfect heir.
Me.
The decoy. I stood, chair scraping. Soft? I burned your kingdom. Enjoy the ashes. Outside. The driver handed an envelope, Dad's parting gift, documents proving I'd signed off on the embezzlement. Years back. To fund Mom's treatments. My secret, unearthed. Crime shared. The mirror cracked further. Nights blurred into strategy sessions with Voss. Now my reluctant consultant in a Fremont basement lab, beakers bubbling. Whiteboards scrawled with fusion math. The echoes fade, he assured, adjusting neural monitors taped to my temples. But choices linger. Choices. Like accepting the board's offer. Restructuring Hale into ethical AI, controversial pivot from black ops to mindful tech. Or exposing more, the senator ties, the homeless trials. I chose both, leaking phased, building buzz as the whistleblower sister. The climax hit at the shareholder meeting. Commandeered hotel ballroom in downtown, crystal chandeliers mocking the sweat on my palms. Suits filled seats, murmuring as I took the podium. No notes, just fire. Hale Dynamics died with my family's greed. But from the ruins, we rise, transparent. Human first neural tech. No more swaps. No more secrets. Gasps rippled, Alara's echo urging bombast. My core demanding truth. Q&A turned brutal. Your involvement? Guilt by blood. But redemption by action. Controversial? Hell. Shareholders booed. But media lapped it, CNN panels debating, Hale heiress, hero or hypocrite? Jake watched from wings. Pride warring worry. Post-meet. Hotel bar. Whiskey's neat. His hand on mine. You're glowing. But is this you? Or her? Valid. The merge left hybrids, my resolve. Her ruthlessness. Both. Better. But as we tangled later, sheets twisting, echoes intruded, her conquests. Mechanical. I faltered, whispering apologies. He held tighter. We're real. That's enough. Twist's shadow loomed in a manila folder from Alara's lawyer. Plea deal offer. Testify against Victor. Full exoneration. Freedom for her. Chains for Dad. Debatable mercy. I visited her cell. Stark and echoing. Her eyes hollow. Why? She rasped. Revenge? Or jealousy? Truth, both. You skipped my wedding. Stole my life, literally. She laughed.
Weak. And you? Covered for me.
We deserved each other.
Deserved.
The echo agreed. I greenlit the deal. Controversial cut. Her light sentence for the expose. Dad's trial ballooned life without parole. Mom? She called from Aspen. Voice slurred. Proud. Arya. Finally. Proud. Too late. As summer burned into fall, echoes quieted. But the tension lingered. Empire rebuilt on fault lines. Love tested by ghosts. Was it happy, this fragile piece? Or tragic? Victory laced with complicity? Readers would argue. I lived it. Fall in Seattle hits like a confession, leaves turning gold under relentless drizzle. The city exhaling summer's sins into crisp betrayal. 3 months post-swap. Post-trial. And I'm Arya Hale again. Fully fleshed. Echoes muted to murmurs. Running a leaner Hale Dynamics from a modest office overlooking the market, fishmongers hollering. Gulls wheeling like free agents. The restructure's a grind. Layoffs softened with severance. Ethics audits that unearth more skeletons. Partnerships with neurorights NGOs to atone. Controversial? Unions call me savior. Old guard labels me Judas. Jake thrives in it. Our road trip finally taken. Highway 101. Motels with ocean views. His hands steady on the wheel as we outrun phantoms. But revenge's bill comes due in whispers. Alara's out on parole, house arrest in a rented Tacoma walk-up. Ankle monitor beeping like a conscience. Her calls start innocuous. Sis. Needs stamps for the appeal. Then sharper. You owe me. That swap. Dad's idea. Test loyalty.
Lie?
Echoes stir. Fuzzy recall of a family dinner. His offhand, what if we could trade burdens? Partial truth. Maybe. The twist reverses. Not just her plot, but a Hale triad, Mom's pill-fueled nudges. Dad's directive. I'd been the sacrificial lamb from jump. Wedding skipped the final prod. I visit her, rain pattering on the chain-link fence of her freedom. She's gaunt, yoga-toned arms corded with resentment, brewing tea in a kitchenette that smells of instant ramen. Tea, she offers, chipped mug trembling. I take it, sitting across Formica scarred like our history. Why now? Her eyes, mirror of mine, flicker. Bored.
And sorry.
The swap, I panicked. Boss pushed. Dad pulled strings.
Pulled.
The revelation lands soft. Damning. I'd glimpsed emails, archived in my guilt vault, ignored for peace. My silence. Complicit again. We talk. Halting childhood forts in the estate's attic. Shared crushes on the same grunge guitarist. The wedge of favoritism widening like a fault. Golden child, she spits.
Cursed.
You were free.
Free.
The irony chokes. You stole that. She nods. Tears salting the tea. Repay? Work for you, consultant. Low-key. Controversial hire. Ex-con sister in the fold. Board balked. But I overrode. Redemption arc. Or masochism. She starts Monday. Auditing old trials. Her ruthlessness, now leashed to good. Dad's appeal drags. Letters from prison, a mix of vitriol and vulnerability. Forgive. Arya. Legacy's yours. Legacy. I burn them. Ashes swirling in the wood stove of our queen and remodel. Expanded bookstore below. Apartment above. Jake's brews infusing the air with hops. Mom's surfaces. Soberish. Volunteering at a women's shelter in Ballard. Grandkids? She hints over awkward dinners. Debatable thaw. Climax echoes in a bored quagmire. Rogue execs. Dad's holdouts. Plotting a coup with pilfered neurosync scraps, black market swaps for elite clients. Leaks hit my desk, buyer list. Senators and CEOs. I confront. Voss at my side. In a dimly lit data center, servers humming like judgmental bees. End it, I demand. Smashing drives with a fire axe, cathartic, primal. They resist. One lunging, Alara bursts in, taser from security training, dropping him cold. Family, she pants. We sink. Echoes harmonizing. Her edge. My heart. Feds swoop. Last nails in the coffin. As dawn gilds the sound, Jake meets me outside. Coffee steaming.
Done.
For now. We drive home. Radio low on NPR. Debate on neural ethics. My name dropped. Hero? Villain? Listeners call in. Voices clashing like the swap's final throws. Endings no tidy bow. Alara integrates. Uneasy ally. Empire stabilizes. Scarred but standing. Love deepens. Jake and I vowing in a quiet ceremony. Courthouse redux. But with witnesses who show. Happy? In moments, her laugh at our table. His hand in mine. Tragic? The ghosts persist. Crimes unabsolved. Family a fragile truce. Debatable justice. Did revenge heal? Or just rearrange the wounds? In America's grand, gritty theater, where underdogs claw for spotlights, it's both. And that's the hook that keeps us turning pages. But if you ask me, staring at the space needles glow from our bed, sheets tangled with possibility, worth it. Every swapped second.